Okay, so I am here. I guess this is going to be like my coaching page, just because, man, I am just beyond over not having basketball like in my life. Being able to like go out practice, go out train with kids, all that stuff. Just miss it for sure. But I guess I'll talk about just what I do as far as my coaching, what I see is important for youth basketball, um, and offenses that I guess I can go into more offenses, I guess, down the road. But for now, my focus is going to be on the I guess five out offenses, and read and react specifically. I'm wanting to get into four out, one in. I just haven't had a really true traditional post in the last little bit, to be able to do it. So the last couple of years, I've been mostly five out circle movement. But I kind of want to talk about the first layer, specifically, which is dribble penetration and circle movement. And I guess like where I see it being beneficial to be taught, and where I struggle at it, I guess implementing it at times in my offenses, for specific reasons. So I guess, all right, starting from that, first layer of the read and react offense, which I think is, man, just like one of the best offenses for youth kids. Like, my thing is like with youth basketball, of course, like I want to win. Like I like winning. I want my kids to feel that feeling. Like, I don't want them to be working and losing all the time. Like, that's just very defeating and doesn't build confidence. So like, I want to put them in situations to win, and I want to help them win. But like, winning to me is not the most important thing. That skill development, to be able to see who really likes basketball and who doesn't like basketball, and are they going to progress from here? Can they progress in them? Did I, as a coach, set them on a good path? Like, did I give them, like, say the right things to them, implement the right things, just so that they can further their playing career or whatever, however how long they want to play. If it's just playing through middle school, through high school, up into college, all that stuff. But I want to be able to teach them the things that definitely need to be taught, as far as just the knowledge of basketball. Because I feel like sometimes you get in situations where kids become like robots out there. They're just so used to passing around the arc, the post people, hollow, all that stuff. Just that's simple basketball. Yes, that's efficient. You can make your team good. Like, if you have some shooters, like if you have good basketball players, you can win with that offense. But like, and even with good teams, like, I feel like this still is a very good offense to run, because it is limitless in a way with the ways you could score. But all right, let's go. I can go into that all day long. We'll save that for another one. But first though, I guess dribble penetration and circle movement. Getting, I guess, kids to be like my thing is like, hey, if I go right, like, or the ball handler goes right, what happens? We all go right. I try to get my team, if my ball handler goes left, what happens? We all go left. Like, I've seen some really cool drills where, I mean, you have a tennis ball, one person goes to the hole or something, and you got to move everybody has to move the tennis ball from their location to the next one to be in that specific spot. And I've done that before, and I think it's a very cool drill, to do for sure. But the issue that I've run into trying to start with dribble penetration and circle movement, in our offense is, I guess, I mean, that is the most important thing, one of the most important things, I guess, just because, like, you want to be able to get your kids to score, like, and you want to get them to know that, hey, like, we're trying to go to the hole. We're not trying to just sit around here and play. And I feel like that's where messed up at times, being like in my coaching, specifically, maybe with some of the teams like I've had recently, but like I felt like I needed to specifically add layer 3 in first, which is, or part of layer 1, which is pass and cut. Like, pass and cut, replace, fill and replace, like all that stuff, like, because like I want them to feel like they don't have to dribble, because like that's what I run into a lot with youth basketball. Man, I have one or two good ball handlers on the team, maybe three, but then they're kind of limited on their offhand. So it gets to a point where majority of my players aren't going to be successful dribbling like with the dribble penetration. Like I have 2, 3 that could be really good at dribble penetration and drive and kick, circle movement like everybody else, move the correct spot, know where the teammate's going to be, and pushing that. First, I mean, I can see the advantages of that. You have a team that meant like you don't have shooters, but you also do have ball handlers. You have ball players. Like some situations, you're not going to be blessed as a coach to be able to have a ton of ball players. You're just going to have some kids that want to play basketball and want to get better. And I feel like it is my job to be able to get these kids better, like work on, I guess, some of the things that like, man, like I know that they can do. And I want to be able to put them in situations to be successful. So I've gotten away, I guess, from that first layer. I added back in there because that is an important layer. Like the circle movement, like when somebody drives to the hole, like where does everybody need to go? Like I love dribble penetration, circle movement in the read and react offense because you can almost close your eyes and know exactly where. Like if you drove, bam, got double team, you should be able to close your eyes and know where your teammate's supposed to be. You're supposed to have, if I can visualize in my head, if I'm at the right wing and I drove left towards the middle, I know I'm going to have somebody back to the right of me, like left, kind of on that other wing. I'm going to have somebody in the corner. I have somebody that just cut baseline. And then I have somebody as a bump pass right behind me. It's like a reverse pivot and dropping it back off to them. I love that. I love having those options, being able to know, like, hey, if I go around somebody and I don't make it to the hole and I'm stuck, where my teammate's going to be. Right? And as the teammate, knowing where to be specifically to help your teammate out and moving on time, like, of course. So, that is dribble penetration, circle movement in the read and react offense is, like, I can see why it's taught first, but I've had better success teaching kids pass and cut, front cut, back cuts, and then trying to teach, the overplay, I guess, like somebody steps a foot past the read line, your automatic back cut, somebody replaces, and I feel like that's almost the same as passing and cutting and teaching those first, and having my ball handlers be able to comfortably handle the ball, getting, like, working into that, like running a set almost in a way initially that gets us into a 5-out situation to be able to then pass and cut, but it gives my ball handlers or my 1 to 2 a chance to attack or do something first before, like, we just, like, I guess, start getting into passing and cutting, because sometimes, man, you come down, everybody lines up in the 5 spots and you're just trying to pass and cut, you got no one cutting, like you got somebody standing there, you didn't L cut, you didn't V cut from the baseline, all that stuff, you didn't screen to get open, all that stuff. So I mean, there are, like I said, advantages and disadvantages to teaching both, because, like, I would say a disadvantage to me teaching the passing and cutting first is having kids almost be too robotic in a way where they're passing and cutting and they're not playing basketball. Like, somebody played up on them, we rotated around, nobody tried to attack the hole. Like, the dribble penetration teaches, hey, we're trying to get to the hole first. Like, we're getting to the hole, we got to run that person, we passed out, we didn't have it. Cool, at that point, you passed, cut away. But, like, teaching that circle movement and getting everybody comfortable with driving the basket and all that stuff, driving to the basket. So, like I said, my I guess, dribble penetration in the read and react offense is one of the most important things. But specifically for your team, I think that you can rotate maybe the first 5 layers accordingly to your team. There's like 20 layers, and I mean, I feel like at a youth basketball level, you should teach the first 5. I mean, which is the automatic back cut if you overplayed, pass and cut, circle movement. Let's see. Come up, that one, back cut. Oh, dribble at, like, that's awesome. That takes a really good passer, honestly, to go east to west, go from the top of the key to the wing, just dribble over at that person back cuts, good bounce pass, they cut. Been situations where I've tried to make that work, and it's a little tougher pass for youth kids. But like I said, man, my goal is to just dive into the Read and React offense. Like I said, I'm missing basketball. I just want to talk about it. Talk about it to whoever wants to hear about it. Why I think it's beneficial to youth basketball, and like, I guess what I see, I guess throughout these next few videos, like what I see as being like the future of youth basketball. Like I feel like that should be more implement. Like I essentially I would love to be able to create a league of my own, like where youth basketball. Like, listen, we're playing man and we're playing Read and React. Like you got to learn to Read and React because it teaches the kids to understand basketball a little bit more, other than just like, hey, you go stand in this spot, let Jimmy go around you, he's gonna score. You just stand there. And then on defense, we're gonna go play zone 2-3 zone. You just stay down there at the corner. If anybody goes over there, you're good. Like, no, basketball is about guarding and scoring. Like, can you guard that person, and can you score on that person? And if everybody doesn't know how to do that, like, basketball is evolving and changing. Like, it's becoming positionless. Like, everybody needs to learn how to dribble, shoot, pass, cut, all that stuff. And that's my goal. And I feel like Read and React offense, though it may not be I'm not doing anything specifically strategically to be like, hey, like, I'm running this set, I'm going to run an overload play, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that to be able to score points. I'm wanting my players to be able to score points, and then develop as basketball players and grow. Like, I feel like you'll see more growth in players with this offense versus others. So I'll talk to you guys soon. I'll try to be back on here again tomorrow. Plan to post one every single day, go through all the layers. And so I'll probably get my whiteboard out here next couple of days just to be able to pull up some, like, just write out some stuff and be able to just kind of see it. If anybody wants to, like, I guess, listen, like I said, feel free to comment below. Talk to anybody about it. But yeah, talk to you guys soon.